Hey guys and girls, I'm James and welcome to my channel. Today we're taking a look at something pretty different. It's a Bwine F7-GB2. Very differently shaped drone. And it's this price point on Amazon right now. If you look, it is on sale. So it's a lot different shape than most drones out there. It does remind me a lot of the Holystone 720. But the Holystone 720 only has a single axis gimbal. And what I like about this one, it does have the 3-axis gimbal, which changes everything when you're trying to get video. So it does come with 2 intelligent batteries, a really nice LED remote, and one fantastic bag. I mean, I really like this bag. I'll show it to you closer when I'm going over the app and everything. So I've never heard of a Bwine drone. So is it a good drone? Would it be a good first drone? Well, I'll tell you what, let's go fly it. I'll even fly it at night, and I'll come back and I'll show you how to work the app and the aspects of the drone and how to get it working and everything. And then I'll come back for my final review. And I'll tell you what I do like about the drone a lot and what I don't like about the drone a lot, and see if it might be the good drone for you. So let's go put her up in the air. All right, I'm gonna turn down those props so you can hear me talk. It's really stable. You know, it is a GPS drone, and what a GPS drone means that it's using the satellites to hold its position. So even if I walked up right now and grabbed it and pulled it 10 feet away, it would come back. So that's why it's really stable. Some GPS drones still kind of wobble around a little bit, especially the cheaper budget drones, but you can see this one is rock solid. I really like the remote. It reminds me a lot of the first Autel drone that was $1,000. It's got a really good professional feel to it. This drone is really close to being really good in a lot of aspects. I think they just really missed on a couple of them. And you'll hear me talk about it in my final review, that it doesn't have an optical flow sensor on the bottom. And what that causes it to do, it causes it to bounce. You'll see it when I land it. It can't get its reading when it's trying to come down. It's really fast. Forward, it doesn't yaw real fast and it doesn't come down real fast. But pitching forward, it's a short drone and it weighs a lot, so it's really fast when you pitch it back and forth, and it rolls real fast left and right, but it will not yaw real fast. So it's a sport drone kind of, because it's really quick. The main complaint I have about this drone, besides the up and down, it's only a 15 frame per second camera, which doesn't really make a lot of sense. If you have a 4K camera, you know, if you're going straight forward or you're taking photos, it's fine. But if you start to turn a little bit, it's going to be really choppy. And I'll show you the video here in a little bit. Yeah, see it yawing left and right? It does really good. It's very stable. You know, a lot of people talk about DJI as, you know, the best of everything. But, you know, when you're flying a DJI drone, every second you're in the air is recorded. So anybody could ever come back and they can see where you've been. So here's some of the video. The color saturation on the camera is really good. I mean, it is 4K, you can tell. But when you see me go up and you turn, it's going to be really choppy. See the color of the sky? That's no color grading on this. So the color of the camera is really good. I mean, it should be for 400 bucks, right? Or 380. It should have a really good camera on it. And it is 4K. You see a little bit of the props coming in right there. You can point the camera down and it will stop that. That is when I'm braking, so when I'm going forward and I stop, the camera pitches up a little bit. See right there where it catches the props? The range seemed to be pretty good. I think it said 1,000 meters, and that's beyond line of sight anyway. It's pretty calm. You see the pond. I did fly it in wind also, and it didn't seem to bother it at all. You know, in 10, 15 mile an hour winds. I mean, I wouldn't fly it in over 25 mile an hour winds. That's pointing the gimbal down. And that's the one-time zoom right there. See it? That's one-time zoom. So of course that's a digital zoom and not an optical zoom. What I mean by that is it's just grabbing the picture and spreading it. It's not the camera actually focusing down. Kind of like the DJI Zoom will actually focus down, where the DJI Pro actually just spreads it. So I'm going to try to land it here. I tried to land it by myself 3 or 4 times. It didn't do very well. You've almost got to use this little down button here, and you'll see how that does. I mean, it doesn't do very well. See how it's bouncing? It does that every time. And if you miss it, it's going to do that right there. It's going to fall over. Another thing I forgot to mention is the battery life, and I'll talk about that in the final review too. I mean, they say 25 minutes. No way. I mean, I think I got 12, 15 max. You know, usually when they say something gets, 20 minutes, it gets 16. But when they say it gets 25 and it gets 12, that's pretty bad. So should this be your first drone? No, if you watch any of my videos, I always talk about to start with the mini drone, not to start with a drone like this. You want to start with a little beginner mini drone so you learn the orientation of the drone. You buy a drone like this, the first time you put it up in the air, you're really nervous because you don't understand what the controls are doing. So buy yourself a little $20 drone. You know, and there's some junky little $20 drones. Make sure you get a good one. I love the Holystone HS210, but right now they're expensive. They doubled in price because of the shortage of materials in China. So I like the Sandrock U61 actually has a camera, and that thing flies really good, and it's $50. So the drone takes really good pictures. I mean, it's a really good camera without the 15 frames per second. See this right here? The color saturation on this is really good. And like right here, if you're going really slow, it looks really good. You see those carts going by? They're kind of choppy. Let's see what happens when I turn it. Then it's going to get real choppy. But the color on I love the colors on the camera. It kind of reminds me a lot of like the Air 2, but right there, it goes away when you have to turn. So you're not supposed to fly at night unless you have a 107 like me, but if you do, you can still see the camera's really good until you turn, and then it gets really blurry. So these companies, they send me these drones to review, but I mean, I want to be honest with you when I'm reviewing these drones. And of course, it's got a lot of good things about it, but it's got some things that I just wish were so different. It's close, it really is. But at this price point, it's got to compete against like the DJI Mini SE. All right, let's head in and check the features of the drone. All right, let's see what she weighs in at. She weighs in at 550 grams. Compared to like the Holystone 700E, it weighs in at 559, so it's right about the same weight. And so how much is 550 grams? It's about the same weight as in a nice bottle of a cold adult beverage. All right, so in a really nice, pretty box comes one of the nicest bags I've ever seen on a budget drone. And I mean, this is a really nice pleather bag. Kind of has that leather feel, but it's not real leather, of course. It's got the front zips up, and you put cables and stuff in here. The drone fits in here. I got to give it to him. This bag is top notch. Lots of times you buy a drone, they don't even come with a bag, but this is the nicest one I've ever seen on a nice budget drone. Got the nice mesh on the side. So inside the bag, of course, you get the drone, and you'll get a really nice prop guard that really works really well to keep the camera safe when you store it. Don't forget to take that off before you fly. Comes with 2 batteries, and if you look, this is on. It's an intelligent battery, but you can actually accidentally turn the battery on. So you've got to hold it down and turn it back off. Just a single press touches it. The remote turns on just like a DJI product. You've got to press once and then hold down, and then it'll turn on. And it does come with the charging cables and the little Allen wrench to take on and off the props. Make sure the props are on the right one. There is an A and a B. So on the drone, it is a 3-axis gimbal. So compared to like the Holystone is just a 1-axis gimbal. It'll only go up and down. It is image stabilized. But this one is actually a 3-axis gimbal. So as it's flying, no matter what it's doing, the gimbal holds the camera straight, which is really important. The SD card goes right here in the back. So on the bottom, there's these 2 holes right here, but these, I really don't think that these have anything to do anything other than vents. So there's no optical flow sensor. So when it lands, you saw that when I was flying it, when it comes down, it bounces a lot. I really wish at this price point they would have put a optical flow sensor on the bottom. One thing that's really cool about this drone that I've never seen before, and I wish was on all drones, but I'm sure it would take them. See this little latch right here? You can turn that latch and the camera pops off. The main expense on a camera is when you break the gimbal on the camera, the drone's almost worthless. So if you break this one, maybe you can order a new camera, or if they ever come out with a better camera. This is a really cool feature. I wish all drones had. And then to latch it back on, it's real simple. So it has I like the lights. It has 2 lights in the front and then one really bright one. And I think there's 4 lights right here that kind of count down as the battery goes down. And then these lights turn red when the battery starts going low. So when you're flying it around, especially at night, it's really easy to see which way's front, because
if you look at it, it'd be hard to tell which is the front and the back, but that makes it really easy when it's flying. It's an intelligent battery, so there's no big clunky charging device. All you do is you plug in your USB-C right here. And to turn it on, you just hold it down. See how they're red right now? Once it's connected, there it goes. So it's connected now to the drone. And so here's your return to home. And here's circle me. This is emergency stop. This of course will turn it back on and off. You can press this to start a camera. This here zooms a one-time zoom in and out. And then this right here moves the gimbal up and down. So you press this one to take a photo, and you press this one to take a video. Or you can do it on the app. So it shows you your distance, your height, your speed. It shows you the battery on the drone, and it shows you the battery on the remote. And the remote also charges with the USB-C on the bottom. It doesn't take very long. They say it takes 6 hours to charge one of these batteries, and they say that you get about 25 minutes of flight time. I think I got about half of that, so that was very disappointing. But it didn't take 6 hours to, did not take 6 hours to charge it. It took a couple. So I like it that it comes with a quick start guide to help get you started. And goes over all the aspects of how to get the drone in the air, along with a really nice manual that goes over all the aspects of the drone. And so when you go to page 20, it gives you the QR code. It'll tell you you need to calibrate the drone. Also, it's a Wi-Fi drone, so you got to connect the Wi-Fi to your phone. I'm not going to go over the functions of the app. You can see that on all my other videos. But to get it to go into gyro calibration, you press up like this on both of them together. You want to do this every time you fly it. It's either blinking. And one thing I like, lots of times you have to spin these like 3 times. This one you just seem to have to spin it once. All right, so now it beeped again, so you hold it straight up. And you spin it around. And so then you go outside, you take it, and you wait until the GPS shows up here. All right, so let's come back for our final review. So thanks very much for watching my review of the Bwine F7 drone. It kind of like looks like the SJRC. I talk about that when I'm flying it. First of all, what do I like about the drone? I love that the camera's on a 3-axis gimbal at this price point. That changes everything when you're trying to get videos. I love that the camera comes off. I wish all drones did that, because that's the most expensive thing when you break a drone, and that's the first thing to break is these gimbals. I love the lights. I really love the remote. The remote has a lot of good features, just as almost good as any drone out there. So I wanted to show you it comes with a really nice prop brace. So when you fold the drone in, you put this brace on the top and it keeps the blade straight, so when you put it into the bag. One of the things I like the most is I really love this case. The case is really nice. Once it's in the air, it's really fast. It flies really well, very dependable. There's no latency, turns good, goes up and down good, and I have complete confidence when it's in the air. The bad thing is when you gotta land it, because there's no optical flow sensor on the bottom. I don't know why they did that. Lots of times I like to catch them with my hand, but with this one, these are kind of flimsy. You might grab the handle and this thing will flip, and these blades are spinning really fast. They'll cut you. Like on other drones that are built like this, when it's coming down, you can catch it with your hand like this, and it's really safe. So on this one, you almost have to use the automatic landing, because if you try to land it by yourself, it bounces a lot. And you got to make sure you're landing on a flat surface. So if you use the automatic landing and it comes down, it'll bounce a little bit and you'll get the hang of it. But in the beginning, it kind of freaks you out that it's doing all these things. I like the lights. I love that it has brushless motors. So is this a good drone for you? Well, if you can get past the point of the way that I don't like it lands, it's a really good drone. Flies really well. Another thing I don't like about it is the flight time. They say it gets 25 minutes of flight time. It gets about 12, maybe 15 max. So that's kind of disappointing that it's not in the air very long. But it does come with 2 batteries. I like that it folds up. So like always, if you got something out of this, please like and subscribe. Subscribers mean everything to this channel, and I'll see you in the next one.